Welcome to Inside the Walls with William Pasquale, brought to you by Perner Frederick Commercial Real Estate. Welcome to a new level of commercial real estate built upon relationships and proven results. And good afternoon and welcome to Inside the Walls with William Pasquale. I've got my guest, Jon Lavin, here starting out. And so today I want to just basically introduce you to him. He's the Senior National Sales Director and 40-year veteran of Primerica, the largest independent financial service marketing organization in North America. And here's a sneak peek into what Primerica's core focus is all about.
For 40 years, we've had a simple philosophy. Just do what's right. While other financial companies focus on the wealthy, we protect our most important assets. The ones who teach our kids, grow our food, make our goods, and protect our nation. With affordable term life insurance and investments, we've been putting families first by treating them the way we would like to be treated. Because in business, as in life, doing what's right never goes out of style.
Good to see you, Jon. How are you?
Great, William. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate you taking time out of what I know is an abundant schedule. So just real quickly, starting it off, what is Primerica?
Wow. Well, we're a financial services marketing organization. Basically, we were started by a teacher and a coach who learned some things about the financial industry, got mad, and decided to start telling everybody about what he had learned. And eventually, everybody was saying, well, can you help me? It had to do with life insurance, not the most exciting subject, something I didn't know anything about when I started.
Sounds like taxes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he basically taught the principle that you could buy low-cost, inexpensive life insurance, term insurance, and you could invest your money in a mutual fund or in a retirement plan at work and always do better than the bundling the insurance and investments together. That was it's called buy term and invest the difference. And we have become very disruptive. Morningstar said that is a company that analyzes stocks and mutual funds, and they said that they thought we would become as disruptive to the financial services industry as Amazon has been to retail. So I'm very proud of that. I like stirring things up, and I have no problem making a very strong argument for what we do.
So when it comes to what you do, Jon, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, when we had our pre-conversation about what we were going to be talking about a little bit, something that you feel very passionate about is financial literacy and the lack thereof, for a lot of people in America. And I know that speaks to what Primerica is really all about at its core, is getting to that, into that middle market, talking to people that, don't necessarily have the financial education to understand how to work with money. And, so why is financial literacy so important right now?
Wow. Well, first off, the wealthy, they've got advisors. They've got a lot of help and a lot of people that want to help them. It's a big, big business. And then the lower income, they don't have the finances really to do much of anything. It's the working class of our country, the middle class in US and Canada, that are basically trying to win the money game without a rule book. We go to school and we get math and science and English and history, but we are never taught personal finance, money 101, how to win the money game. So in today's world, unless somebody has a particular interest in the subject, they're usually just too busy living their lives, and we've not been taught in school, so they do the best they can. And it leads to a lot of failure. Most people don't have a roadmap. They don't have a guide. They don't have a plan. They've never been taught. And it's pretty hard to win at anything if you don't have a coach and you don't have a plan, you don't have a guide, and you don't know what you're doing, you're winging it. And that's what most people do with their finances. They wing it. So I became very passionate about the subject of financial literacy and really teaching adults about money and personal finance. And so that's how we started in our business, and then got good enough at it where I said, I'm going to train and develop and teach a lot of people to train and develop and teach. So I went into the development of people in our industry as my primary business. I kind of shifted from working only with clients to working with people who work with clients and people who work with people who work with clients. And so I'm more in the business of helping people go in business within our system. So that's what we're doing.
What are three areas of financial literacy that you think that, would really, add, let me change that. What are like 3 areas of financial literacy that people need to know? Just need to know that they might be ignoring right now for any number of reasons. Like, just what are the big 3?
First one is the magic of compound interest. Very few people understand that if you save money at 3% or 6% or 12%, these are hypothetical numbers, that your money doesn't just double when you sit it from 3 to 6 or from 6 to 12. There's exponential growth. There's compounding that affects. For example, $2,000 invested at 3% for 48 years. If you invested $2,000 once, it would double every 24 years. The rule of 72 says divide your interest rate into the number 72, and that's how long it takes money to double. So at 3%, your money doubles every 24 years. At 6%, it doubles every 12 years. At 12%, it would double every 6 years. Well, the end results are dramatic. It goes from 8,000 to 32,000 to 512,000 over a 48-year period. So that's the biggie. Most people are not familiar with how every percentage point of interest or gain they can have on their money over time, how dramatic of effect that has long range. So that would be one. The second would be, I would say most people don't understand the power of using professional money managers. There's a product out there called a mutual fund that allows a lot of small investors to mutually pool their money together and give that to professional money managers. And those managers then manage it, and they diversify that. That's another principle, that you diversify. You spread your money out. You don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
And to have that done professionally by people that do that every day, all day, and they have analysts and they have research departments, is a very wise way to go. So mutual funds can be used in 401ks at work, in Roth IRAs and IRAs, for college funds, like that. So that's the second, I would say, use professional money managers. And then the third principle, in my opinion, is the theory of decreasing responsibility, that says in the early years, when you've got young kids and a family and lots of responsibilities, that's when you need the most life insurance to replace your income in the event of a premature death. But as you get older, the kids grow up and get out on their own. Hopefully your debt gets lower and your mortgage gets paid, and your needs for life insurance or income replacement go down.
Right.
At the same time, your need for savings and accumulating money goes up. So we just teach people, rent a pile of money called term life, and then invest and save money and get a plan to get out of debt and have a budget. And at some point, you've got enough money so you can retire, and that becomes your life insurance, because in the event of death, when you're ready to retire, your retirement funds goes to your family and your heirs. So we teach those basic principles all day long.
Okay. Let me ask you a question about the second, your second response there, and in the working with mutual, people that manage money managers. Over the years, I've done some reading up on that, and there are sometimes a lot of fees that can be, put into these funds, and sometimes there are hidden fees that are put into these funds. But you also have groups like, Vanguard, who, really have very low fees. How do you see that? How do you see the ability, or how fees play into all of that? Because obviously money managers should be making money because they're managing it. But,
a great question.
Exorbitant fees are not necessarily a good thing.
Well, let's take a 1% fee versus a 0.25% fee, 75 basis points,
right?
Which is typically the difference in an index fund with Vanguard and a mutual fund managed by a mutual fund company. Brokers do not market Vanguard, okay, because we get compensated, front end compensation. So people say you don't need to pay that. You don't need to pay the high fees. Just buy an index fund and everything will work. Well, if you look at history and you have good mutual funds that have been managed that have good track records, they will outperform the S&P 500 over time by 1 or 2 or 3%. And once again, if it's just 1%, that's dramatic. And I'm talking about 1% net of fees. So the problem I see with indexes is you're in them. If you're in the S&P 500 and there's some bad things that are going on, then you're dealing with bad things. And if the market's going down, you're going down. And when the market goes up, you go up. For most people, they can't stomach that. And so the discipline of staying on a long-term course and understanding that the key to accumulating money is time and consistency, putting a little bit of money away over a long period of time. And so that would be my answer. Good funds have outperformed the S&P 500 net of fees. And so if you have a good advisor, they're picking a portfolio and finding out what your goals are, finding out what your objectives are, and they're matching your portfolio and your funds to your goals and dreams and making changes along the way and taking the emotional roller coaster out of it the best we can. So that would be the answer to that.
Awesome.
If you've got a big stock in an S&P 500 index and those stocks are not doing well, you're in it. Money managers have the ability to make changes to that portfolio. So that's the major. You can't go wrong with an index fund with low fees. The question is, can you do better with really good funds and an advisor that's working with you every year and there to answer your questions? And so that's kind of the difference.
That's great. That's great information. I thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about the people that are most important to you personally, your team here in Philadelphia. I mean, Jon's in the greater Philadelphia area, and how large, you have a very large team, if I remember correctly. How many people do you have on your team currently?
So my team is really in about 30 states. The majority of the team was built in Florida and Pennsylvania, the two places I've lived. So I've moved and started scratch operations 4 times, meaning I've started from nothing in an area and started. So we have 2,000 agents, licensed agents. 55 are vice presidents, or what we would call like a broker or the owner of their own operation. And I'm pretty much a consultant to them. They've come through the system and they've earned the same compensation contract that I have. And that's kind of the uniqueness with Primerica, is you can work your way to my contract and then work your way to your own ownership. We actually have a couple that just came into our business. They've been here 26 months. And they just earned full ownership, which is like $300,000 in a year and 12 months in earnings, and you have ownership. So very unique situation, very different business model. And we have a lot of part-time people. So most of our people, like 99%, start part-time, learn the business, get licensed, see if they like it, see if they're good at it. Some stay part-time forever. Some get out of the business. Many get out of the business. And some go on and make it a career. And so we're never sure who the right people are. So we say, hey, let's put a uniform on you and put you on the field and bat you around and see if you've got what it takes to be an entrepreneur and a business owner. And maybe it's something great part-time because they get their insurance and investment license and now their mortgage license. We've just added Rocket Mortgages now. Quicken Loans product is now part of our portfolio that we offer. So we've got a lot of different products and services we offer. And we have from part-time to very full-time, like myself, people that are in financial advisory roles and people that are in more coaching and leadership development or recruiting, training, and developing roles. And our associates kind of pick. But what's happened kind of with the pandemic is we've expanded even faster because we're now using Zoom and video. And
but you had significant, I mean, I've been to your offices before. You had significant space in Conshohocken, and I think had a little bit of a blessed situation kind of come up in the middle of that. Tell us about that.
I've always had offices and we've always had meeting space and people are in and out during the day and there's the buzz of the office. And once March came, we had a ban in the office, and soon thereafter my lease, I was able to terminate the lease. Thank goodness. And we will open an office again, but it will not look the way it's looked. I mean, we have operated from home for the most part, and it exploded our growth. And it's a little scary. It's unfortunate, but because there's a pandemic, because people are worried about their mortality and their health, life insurance, inexpensive life insurance, term insurance is is a valuable product people know they should own. And people have concerns about their finances. I think a lot of people got stuck without emergency funds, and suddenly they were out of work without an emergency fund.
Right.
People are tapping into their 401ks. People were either downsized or no longer have their jobs. Those 401ks have to be moved. People need advice. So people are looking to make more money. People are concerned about, a lot of people's incomes were cut. So we're in it's almost been as bad as it's been, and as bad as COVID is, for our business and our company, for those of us that are willing to work hard, it's been amazing because we can do appointment after appointment after appointment from the comfort of our home. There's no commute time. We're missing that human interaction that I can't wait to get back to, but it will look different. And from this point forward, I'm sure I'll have an office and a strong presence through online client development and new recruit development. So we moved all of our training to online. All of our meetings are online. We're doing everything right now to create a community and online communication that has people feel a part of something. And now there are no states, so we're building everywhere.
So the value of having physical office space, one of the things that we hear about is just like, the cat's out of the bag. People can now work from home, and, the whole question of work-life balance and the timing of that. I don't want to work 9 to 5. I want to work, 5 to midnight. I want to work whatever suits best. I mean, are you finding that having an office was less beneficial than you thought?
No, I think it served its purpose all along. I don't think we discovered the power of online. I don't think we really knew what was possible. And so when I would run big meetings, and most of our office was during the day, people were in and out. We had meeting space and conference rooms that were being used, but mostly it was being used nights and weekends because we bring people in part-time. So we had a lot of space sitting empty throughout the day. There was a lot of wasted and lost income on my part, paying office rent on office space that wasn't being used. I think we can really change that now and understand we can rent office space or have a facility that multiple associates use, like a training center, different than every day going in and working out of an office. Although now I'm a little older, my kids are grown and out, so I'm fine working from home. But if I had little kids running around, I'm sure I'd want to get to the office and be around.
Right.
And that human interaction and that relationship building, you can't get that as well, I don't think, on Zoom. Although I watch movies a lot of times and cry, so I guess there's emotions through a screen. And we've been able to connect with our clients and our prospective associates through a screen very well. So technology has given us a different view of it.
So let's kind of in the wrapping of this. So we have a segment we do on every show called, Wisdom on the Wall, or, Words on the Wall. And what is like something that, like words that you live by, your code, your mantra, so to speak, that you would want to share with everybody in the world?
A real easy one. Work hard and be nice. Right. So I really think that being nice and caring and having a win-win focus is how you become successful in business. Being others focused and others centered. And so in my business, and as I'm coaching clients and I'm coaching our associates, my number one top priority is to care and to understand where is someone coming from, what's important to them, what are their goals, what are their dreams, what are their concerns. And if I can focus on that and then do my best to solve a challenge or problem they've got, that's a win-win. And so whether that's their finances, whether that's their income that they want to earn or business that they'd like to own, I really need to find out what do they want. And then if I work hard to help them get what they want, and I'm really nice and I really care and I really mean it, and it's not a bunch of BS, but it's sincere, then everything seems to work really well for us from there. That we get a lot of referrals, and our goal is really to have raging fans that feel so good about what we do that they can't wait to tell others about us.
Awesome. Jon Lavin, Senior National Sales Director from Primerica. Thank you so much for joining the show this week. And thank you all for watching. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon and see you next week.
Thanks, William.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.